listening to the Ready PDN Network.
Stand clear. Push to shock.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
That's right, we're alive. Hello, Ready Product Radio heads, and welcome to another exciting episode of Ready Product Radio. We are back after a year-long sabbatical. We will be trying some different formats, starting with this week's episode. In Canada, there is a humorous radio show by the CBC called The Debaters, where two stand-up comedians debate on such silly topics as cake versus pie. This week's episode is inspired by The Debaters and features a lighthearted and humorous debate between Steve Johnson and Saeed Khan on the topic of product manager versus product owner. Remember, the goal here is to entertain with a few chuckles. This humorous episode will be followed up by a more serious discussion between Steve and Saeed next episode. Ready Product Principle number 30 is, someday you will look back on this and laugh, right? So why wait? Laugh now, laugh often. It's good medicine. Enjoy the show. All right, are you ready to meet two debaters whose roadmaps have led them to our product podiums tonight?
Woohoo! Yeah.
This productologist is well known for his many years at Pragmatic, but currently shucks from the shingle under 10 Consulting. It's the godfather of product management himself, Steve Johnson. Steve Johnson, confidently strolling up to the opposing podium, is a favorite of Product Camp and Conference Circuit, a maverick of product metrics, Saeed Khan. Saeed Khan, everyone. Finally, a warm welcome to our human laugh track, our inquisitor extraordinaire and judge for this debate, Neha Thumala. Neha Thumala, everyone. All right, Steve and Saeed, your topic will be of special interest to product owners working in product management, product managers trying to make sense of product ownership, and executives in tech wondering what these product people persistently prattle on about anyway. Your topic, be it resolved that both product managers and product owners are needed to create successful products. Steve, you will be arguing for this, and Saeed, you will be arguing against. Product managers have been ruling the requirements roost for decades now, but lately a preponderance of plucky new product people called product owners have pronounced themselves the new pundits and prognosticators of productdom. Is it time for these ancient, archaic product managers to step aside and let their agile, anachronistic arch enemies, the product owners, take over? Or is this product town big enough for both of them to flit their feathers and proudly prove their product pedigree? A job search recently on LinkedIn for the title product owner resulted in 247 opportunities, while the title product manager resulted in 695. According to payscale.com, a product owner in Canada makes an average of $74,631, while a product manager in Canada makes an average of $81,354. For 2017, Business Insider ranked product manager number 12 of the 25 best jobs in tech in 2017, while product owner did not make the list. However, Business Insider UK did rank product owner number 2 of the 9 best paying jobs in fintech in 2017. OT, anyone? But enough of internet rankings and lists. Let's hear what our chosen debaters have to say. Whereas nothing sounds more possessive than the term owner, be it resolved that both product managers and product owners are needed to create successful products. Steve, you're arguing for this position, and you have 2 minutes starting now.
Okay, well, when I started Under 10 Consulting, I interviewed hundreds of product management VPs and CPOs. Those with successful agile deployments indicated they had both roles. In general, the product manager is external, while the product owner is internal. The product owner is a role defined by development, however, one that's primarily about supporting developers. The product manager role works with marketing, sales, support, services, and executives. I find there are 4 types of expertise in product management and there are many in the organization who need that expertise. But when development defines the role, they define the role as product owner sitting next to developers reading aloud from Jira. To quote my friend Saeed Khan, we need to learn it before we build it and nail it before we scale it. That's product management. PO is focused only on building it. That's why I help product teams implement product management from idea to market, not just the development bits.
Excellent. Thanks, Steve. Our human laugh track. Now to tell us why two is a crowd when it comes to creating successful products, Saeed Khan. Saeed, you have 2 minutes, starting now.
Thank you, Alan. First, let me say that I'm so happy I have this side of the debate versus Steve's. It's like debating pie and crust versus pie or crust. It's a completely false argument. The crust is part of the pie, so it's completely redundant to mention the crust separately. And while we're on the topic of crust, let me just say that that dry crust is the blandest, most generic part of the pie. Its only purpose is to make sure that the beautiful, delicious, tasty filling, i.e. everything else in the pie, is available for everyone to savor and enjoy. Have you ever seen people eat pie? They don't look admiringly at the crust and envision eating it and slowly, carefully, delectably. No, they rip it away to get to the good stuff, the filling. And when they're done with the filling, they're done with the pie. They often leave the bottom crust completely uneaten. Yes, that crust, that thin, bland, dry, and utterly generic mixture of flour, water, salt, and lard. Yes, lard, the fat that other fats make fun of. That crust need not be mentioned separately from the pie. Even the name of pies ignores the crust. Every single pie is named after the filling. Apple pie, blueberry pie, cherry pie, meat pie, key lime pie, sweet potato pie, pecan pie, etc., etc., etc. No one mentions the crust. It's just a necessary part of the pie, and you just assume it's there. And so it's the same with product managers and product owners. The product owner does tasks that are simply a part of product management. There's no need for this new role and title. Mark Andreessen famously said, software is eating the world. And you know what? Just like the filling in a pie, if Andreessen is correct, then product management will make the world taste great. Thank you.
Well done, Saeed. Well done.
Well done.
So I think you were saying Steve's crusty there. I'm not too sure, but let's move on. So debaters, it's now time to see who's going to really own this debate by seeing who can manage their way to victory in the bare knuckle round. We're asking if both product managers and product owners are needed to create successful products. So let's create our roadmap for this round and see what kind of stories will win our debate today as you probe each other's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to decide who has the best groomed backlog of arguments in this verbal scrum. The product of your pronunciations will make you the winner, while the other faces a nasty retrospective when they get home to their team. Steve, you begin. 1 minute.
Okay, well, Saeed has argued that the product owner is part of product management, and I'm willing for that to be true, but there's a challenge between what should be and what is. I see many organizations where the product owner is a replacement for the product manager, which is fine, except that the product owner isn't doing the rest of product management. They're just primarily working with development. To quote Yogi Berra, the American baseball manager and philosopher, in theory and practice are the same. In practice, they are not. What I've seen is product owners do development work, product managers do business work.
Excellent. Saeed, counter to that?
Sure. So again, not to belabor the point, but we're back to pie and crust. It's not pie or crust. So if companies have only a product owner, well, then they're completely missing the point, right? It's like saying, hey, what would you like on the menu? We got crust and crust and crust and crust. Obviously, no one's going to order that, right? And if you say we have pie and pie and pie and pie, then everyone's going to go, yeah, that's what's really needed. So I think the real challenge here is that the issue of product owner, we'll get into it in more detail in a bit, but it's really not something that you really want on its own. Not that I'm arguing Steve's point. What I'm saying simply is that it's just not something you need to separate out. You know, and as far as Yogi Berra's quote, it's absolutely true. Theory and practice, they're quite different. And unfortunately, a lot of people, when they think of product management, are certainly practicing and not being experts at it.
Good job, guys. So we're debating product manager versus product owner, and now it's time for the firing line. And for this round, Neha has a list of questions related to product manager versus product owner. Debaters, please wait till Neha has finished reading the question, and then use your buzzers to buzz in if you have an answer. Neha, take it away, please.
All right, guys. So, what product management phrase did pragmatic marketing popularize in the 90s by putting it on a coffee mug? Go for it. Who was that?
I think I buzzed in first. This is Steve.
All right,
Actually,
Steve, go for it.
that phrase was, your opinion, while interesting, is irrelevant. And when we put that on a coffee mug, it was the most popular purchase from the Pragmatic store for many, many years.
All right, I got to buzz in. Sorry. So,
All right.
Steve, just to be clear, are you saying that it was more popular than the courses themselves?
No, I meant of the other tchotchkes you could buy that had a Pragmatic logo on it.
I see. I was going to say it was one of three things. It was either our grid contains only 37 squares. You can remember them all. We'll teach them to you in just 2 days. It's on the mug, but that was one of them. Or it was keep calm and let Steve Johnson handle it. I thought that might be a popular mug, Steve. I don't know about you.
I like that a lot. Yeah, good one.
And lastly, I thought it was something like waterfall forever. Waterfall will never die. Waterfall is here to stay.
Oh, God.
Because that was pretty popular in the
Indeed.
90s, I think.
You know, the funny thing about that quote, though, is so many product managers thought that quote meant about everybody else. And I had to point out that it was a left-handed mug. It meant so the quote was facing the product manager. You know, everybody's got opinions. Your opinion as product manager is the least relevant.
I read that the other way, Steve. I thought mine was the only relevant opinion as the product manager.
Many people thought that way. Indeed.
Good psychology test.
Indeed.
All right, well done. I think, Steve, you got the right answer. So technically, I should be giving you, I think, a good 4 out of 5. I think bonus points for the left-handed side. And Saeed, I love the creative responses, especially that waterfall will never die. I think people still do believe that. So
I think Steve had an unfair advantage on that question. Personally.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Exactly.
All right, here goes the second question. Ready, guys? Okay. The Agile Manifesto, published in 2001, recommends we favor individuals and interactions over what? Saeed.
Okay. Yeah, I had to buzz in first. I didn't want Steve to have, all the glory.
Yes, all the fun. No, go for it.
So it says individuals and interactions over sitting home alone and wondering why you have no friends. I think every developer has pondered that at some point in their career.
True. And product managers also, right?
Maybe. No developer friends anyway.
No, okay. And Steve, any response to that one?
I don't have as funny a response as that. I was so impressed with Saeed. I just zoned out. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, then I guess, Saeed, you get, extra points on this one. I'm going to give you that 4 out of 5.
Steve, I thought for sure you were going to answer over a grid with way too many boxes for an individual to focus on during their day. But anyway, that was me.
Well, indeed. Although I have to say I am a big believer in process and tools. I find so many organizations adopt somebody else's process and call it best practice, when in fact it's just somebody else's practice. And I think the agilistas say, you have to implement everything exactly the same way, like it's a religion. I prefer to implement the way the parts that really work, because I think every organization is unique. You're unique, just like everyone else.
And I never turned around and started walking the other way when I saw a process coming down the hall towards me either. So, there's that as well, right?
And it's not that they're saying that process and tools are bad. It's just that you don't want the process to replace individuals and interaction.
Right.
Excellent.
Isn't that the whole point of process?
Well, I used to work for a president who said, if you have the right process, it doesn't matter who your people are, which I certainly haven't found to be the case. But I think there are a lot of people who say, well, all we need is a cocktail napkin. And you need something more than that, Shirley.
Shirley.
And you don't have to call me Shirley.
Surely you can't be serious.
Okay. Neha, thank you very much. So who's the winner of that question, do you think?
Well, I think I'd have to give it to Saeed for this one.
Really?
But,
Woohoo.
Well, considering Steve didn't really have an
great
answer.
answers. And for those who care, the answer to the question is individuals and interactions over process and tools. So you did get that for sure.
Awesome.
Both of you, great job. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Neha. So that's the firing line, everyone. Now, for a final round to tell us why it takes two to tango in product success, it's Steve Johnson with his closing argument that we need both product managers and product owners. Steve, you have 1 minute to convince us, starting now.
Okay. What I find is most departments are understaffed. And so development says, I need somebody to read aloud to me from Jira, and they expect the product management team to provide that. Likewise, the salespeople say, I know how to drive the car and discount, but I don't know anything about the product. So I need somebody to go on sales calls with me. And so product managers fill that void. And then marketing says, well, we do campaigns. We don't know the product. So we need somebody to generate screenshots for us. And the biggest issue I run into is that we've got lots of people trying to do product management without the expertise necessary to do it.
Thank you, Steve. So you're arguing that the product manager and product owner can coexist peacefully like chocolate and peanut butter. Now, to argue that there can be only one, our very own Highlander, Saeed Khan, you have 1 minute to convince us, and go.
All right, thanks, Alan. So let me say this, product owner. 2 words, one big fat lie. Let me set the record straight, product owners. You don't own the product. You didn't buy it, you didn't pay for it, you didn't inherit it. You don't own it. You know what you do own? A big headache and medical bills. Because the same people who created title product owner and gave you the honor of having it, did it so they can have one throat to choke, yours. That's right, look it up. You own nothing, but they tell you you own everything. So they can point their collective fingers at you and blame you when things go wrong. Now, it wasn't always like this. There was a time when engineers wanted product managers to give them the requirements and get out of the way. Remember those days? We went to school and learned how to program, they said. We're smart. We're software engineers, they proclaimed, even though they weren't really real engineers, you know what I mean? Don't meddle in our work, they repeated. Go get some marketing help or help sales or go do something else. We'll build what's needed and let you know when we're done. They wanted ownership, they got it, and they failed miserably. 90% of software projects were late, over budget, lacked functionality, or poor quality. And so with all those failed projects, they did the only logical thing. They blamed product management. That's right. The requirements weren't detailed enough, they said. Product management just threw the requirements over the wall and ignored our questions, they claimed. And then when they tried to fix the problem, they did it by doing a complete 180. We have a new way of doing things. It's called Agile. We want to work closely with product management. We don't want to be left alone. We even want product management to sit with us and talk to us every single day. And we want to give product management complete ownership. That's right. You're now the product owner. Why? So they can still blame us when things go wrong. I say no. No way. No thank you. Product owner, no. Product management, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Saeed, a little bit over time there, but you're on a roll, so wanted to let you keep going there. So big thanks to both our debaters, Saeed and Steve, and our inquisitor and judge, Neha. So now it's time for us to hear who the winner is. So Neha, as is tradition on the CBC show, The Debaters, I will announce each of our debaters' names and then give us a more enthusiastic woohoo or clapping for the debater that you believe won the debate. Okay?
Okay.
So first of all, was it Steve? I like that. That sounded like it was helped by some audio effects there. Or was it Saeed Khan?
The winner was Saeed.
The winner was Saeed.
Okay.
You know, Saeed, like I was listening to your sort of cynical argument, and I was like, "Yep, you're absolutely 100% right." But I think what Steve said is is a reality also. So I do kind of agree with him, at least in the sense of what I'm facing in the workplace right now. But Saeed, I have to say, you did get a lot of the cynical bits absolutely correct, but I'm hoping that Steve's version is still right. So I'm gonna pick him.
All right.
I demand a recount.
So this is not the end of the vote. So, folks listening to this podcast, feel free to go to www.readyproductradio.com/vote, and you can cast your vote. Did you think Steve Johnson won the debate or Saeed Khan? Cast your vote now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Ready Product Radio, part of the Ready PDM network. This is when most podcasters ask you to leave a review on iTunes if you like the show. My only request is if you found the show entertaining, inspiring, or informative, please share it with a colleague or friend who may feel the same way. Also, note that the views expressed in this episode do not necessarily reflect my views or the views of the Ready PDM network. If you want yourself or your product to be ready, then keep your eyes on your markets, your ears to your customers, your mind on their experiences, both good and bad, and finally, keep your hearts in your products. Until next time, thank you for listening. You can contact us on Twitter at Ready Product Radio. That's RDYPRODUCTRADIO. And on the web at www.readyproductradio.com.
Gee, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.